Hi there, it's February 26th, Monday. Time for Proverbs 26. Let's jump over there and see what we got. Well, some of these we had highlighted from a previous study, and we'll go over those again. First one, praise for a fool is out of place, like snow in summer or rain at harvest time. Honor is not fitting for a fool. Like that? There's lots of fools that are getting honored nowadays, huh? Verse 2, curses cannot hurt you unless you deserve them. They are like birds that fly by and never light or land. Yeah, a curse without cause does not come to rest. Sticks and stones, right? Sticks and stones. Unless you deserve it. That's funny. Verse 3, you have to whip a horse, you have to bridle a donkey, and you have to beat a fool. Yeah. I don't think you have to whip a horse, but some people do, I guess. And number 4 and kind of number 5 kind of go together, because I had to do some research on these last month, because in the older versions, and we'll read it from the New American Standard, do not answer a fool according to his foolishness, or you will also be like him. And then 5 says, answer a fool as his foolishness deserves, so that he will not be wise in his own eyes. And some of the older version even says the same thing. Do not answer a fool according to his foolishness. Then it says, answer a fool according to his foolishness. I'm like, which is it? So, and over here, it says, if you answer a silly question, you're just as silly as the person who asked it. And 5 says, give a silly answer to a silly question, and the one who asked it will realize that he's not as smart as he thinks he is. Okay? Well, this is kind of giving you permission to be sarcastic, you know? What this actually means, if you answer a silly question, you're just as silly as the person who asked it. And over here, it's like taking his question or argument seriously, okay? And if a fool asks you something stupid, and you take it seriously and answer it seriously, you'll be just as foolish as he is. Instead, somebody asks a silly question, you give them a silly or a sarcastic answer. Okay? And then the one who asks it will realize that he is not as smart as he thinks. Okay? Yeah. And there's lots of examples we could put together for that. But yeah. Somebody asks you something stupid, give them a stupid answer. Yeah. Verse 6, if you let a fool deliver a message, you might as well cut off your own feet. Remember back then they didn't have mail or communications, they sent messengers. Yeah. You send an idiot, they can start wars that way. Wow. A fool can use a proverb about as well as crippled people can use their legs. Well, they had no use for fools back then, did they? Praising someone who is stupid makes as much sense as tying a stone in a sling. Yeah. Tying a stone in a sling. Won't go anywhere that way, huh? Wow. Lots of talk about fools in this one. A fool quoting a wise saying reminds you of a drunk trying to pick a thorn out of his hand. Right. A fool quoting a wise saying. Like a thorn that sticks in the hand of a heavy drinker, so is a proverb in the mouths of fools. Right. An employer who hires any fool that comes along is only hurting everybody concerned. Unclear. Like an archer who wounds everyone, so is one who hires a fool or hires those who pass by. Now, hire anybody off the street? People do that. A fool doing some stupid thing a second time is like a dog going back to its vomit. Yuck. Definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Huh? Verse 12, the most stupid fool is better off than those who think they are wise when they are not. Wow, that's a good one right there. There's people that think they know everything. And if somebody thinks they know everything, they cannot be taught anything. Right? So, this is true. The stupidest person is better off than those who think they know everything when they don't. Okay? That's it over here. Do you say a person wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. I like it better over here. Verse 13. Why don't lazy people ever get out of the house? What are they afraid of? Lions? Yeah. A lazy one says there's a lion in the road. There's a lion in the public square. Right. They'll make up excuses, right? Just make up excuses not to do anything. Lazy people turn over in bed. They get no further than a door swinging on its hinges. Right? Doors move, but they don't go anywhere, right? Some people are too lazy to put food in their own mouths. Yeah. A lazy one buries his hand in the dish, is weary of bringing it to his mouth again. Yeah. People like that? I never met anybody that lazy, but I've seen pictures of them on the internet, right? A lazy person will think he is smarter than 7 men who can give good reasons for their opinions. Mm-hmm. Seems like this whole chapter is about fools and lazy people, huh? Getting involved in an argument that is none of your business is like going down the street and grabbing a dog by the ears. That is so true. Mind your own business. Right? This goes for today. I mean, there's amazing how many people will argue on the internet with people they don't even know. And it's going back and forth, and you're seeing all this stuff scrolling up on the screen, and you don't even know this person. That's just doesn't make sense. That's getting in other people's business, and that's like gossip. And I just keep on scrolling. That should be your mantra. Just keep scrolling if you're on the computer. So don't get involved in an argument that's none of your business. Okay. 18 and 19. I put those together. I don't know where that is. We'll read it over here first. Like a maniac who shoots flaming arrows in death. So is a person who deceives his neighbor and says, was I not joking? That one's always been a huge red flag for me. Someone who tricks someone else and then claims he was only joking is like a crazy person playing with a deadly weapon. Right. Like somebody just firing into it in the street. You could kill somebody. There's someone who says something mean and then says you're only joking. You can never take words back. Once they're said, they're out there. Once they're in that person, they're in there. You're not going to get them out, no matter how you apologize. Be very, very careful what you say. Don't, I never like these comedians that will stand on stage, pick somebody out of the audience, and totally tear them apart. Where'd you get that ugly dress? And look at that haircut. Did your mother know you were that ugly? It's just to get a laugh. And they're only joking, but that hurts that person. And they'll never forget that. You can make somebody agoraphobic like that and never go out again. It's like playing with a loaded weapon, shooting off things in the street. You say something just to get a joke, just to get a laugh, and it hurts somebody. Okay? God doesn't like that. I'm just kidding. No. Verse 20. Without wood, a fire goes out, and without gossip, quarreling stops. that. Without gossip, quarreling stops. It says it better over here, too. In the word for word translation, for lack of wood the fire goes out, and where there is no gossip or quarreling, quiets down. Yeah? Stop gossiping, and the fighting will stop most of the time. Got that? I'm huge on gossip because God hates that. And it's the one thing that goes on in the church and nobody thinks there's anything wrong with it. Yeah? That's a soapbox everybody should be on. 21. Charcoal keeps the embers glowing. Wood keeps the fire burning. And troublemakers keep arguments alive, or gossips. Right? Like charcoal to hot embers and wood to fire, so is a contentious person to kindle strife. Now we're getting into the gossip stuff here. We're just going to make these all blue. Right? Troublemakers will keep an argument alive. Keep gossiping. Gossip is so tasty, how we love to swallow it. That you like to hear other people's woes because it makes you feel better about your own self. Well, I would never do that. Spread it around, right? Insincere talk that hides what you're really thinking is like a fine glaze on a cheap clay pot. Right? Insincere talk. Like an earthenware vessel overlaid with silver, impurities are burning lips and a wicked heart. Right. What's this say? Burning. Burning, insincere talk that hides what you're really thinking. It's like a fine glaze on a cheap pot. Right? So, if you say, what a beautiful dress, when it's not, or something, and better off not saying anything. Okay? 24. A hypocrite hides behind flattering words. They may sound fine, but don't believe him because his heart is filled to the brim with hate. He may disguise his hatred, but everyone will see the evil things he does. Yeah. Right. A hypocrite. What does it call it over here? One who hates disguises it with his lips, but he harbors deceit in his heart. When he speaks graciously, do not believe him, because there are 7 abominations in his heart. Though his hatred covers itself with deception, his wickedness will be revealed in the assembly. In the assembly, that's church, or courts, or Congress. Right? So let's read this again. A hypocrite, or a hateful person, we all know what a hypocrite is, hides behind flattering words. They may sound fine, but don't believe him, because his heart is filled to the brim with hate. He may disguise his hatred, but everyone will see the evil things he does, or he will be revealed in the assembly. Let's make this green. Green it is. So, and you can tell. Most people have enough discernment to tell if somebody is truly just lying to you on the surface. Okay? There's a lot of politicians. Congress and the House and the White House, and they really hate people, but they use them and they lie to them. They're flattering words. Okay? You could go into that. This is how race wars start, and the people in Congress, they want the race war to start, because if they divide people, they're easier to control than if we all get together and go after them. It's just wrong, and they're wrong. You can tell they're lying just by looking at them, and they will be found out. Okay, 27. People who set traps for others get caught themselves. People who start landslides get crushed. Right? Start a trap with somebody else, you're going to get caught yourself. And 28, you have to hate someone to want to hurt him with lies. Insincere talk brings nothing but ruin. You get that? You have to hate someone to hurt him with lies. A lying tongue hates those it crushes. Insincere talk brings nothing but ruin. All right. Don't lie to people. Period. Just don't lie. So, that's 26. Maybe I highlighted stuff that we can say more about. A lot of talks about fools in here. We went over these already. How they were the same, but not the same. If you answer a silly question, you're just as silly as the person who asks it. If somebody says something stupid and you take it seriously, okay, you're going to end up sounding just as stupid as the person asking the stupid questions. Okay? But if somebody says something stupid and silly, answer it with something stupid and silly, you know? Yeah? If somebody says, the sky is green and I know the sky is green, and you say, yeah, and the ocean is purple and I know it's purple, you know, so something stupid just to make them sound silly. You know? Never realize how stupid they sound. You just have to be prepared with the kind of witty responses, you know, that'll make them sound silly without you getting punched in the mouth. Okay, so and God can give you those words. Okay, we highlighted 12. The stupidest person is better off than those who think they are wise when they are not. Right? Somebody who's a fool is better off than someone who thinks they know everything. Okay? We highlighted 13. Why don't lazy people ever get out of the house? What are they afraid of? Lions? Lions on the street? Or any excuse. They make excuses. We highlighted 17. Getting involved in an argument that is none of your business is like going down the street and grabbing a dog by the ears. A very big, mean dog. He's going to chew you up. Okay? Stay out of other people's business. If it's on the internet, just keep scrolling, okay? Because they're not going to listen to you. Just keep on scrolling. You don't even know that person. So, why get into the grief, okay? It's like starting a fight with a monster. And we highlighted 18 and 19. Someone who tricks someone else and then claims he was only joking is like a crazy person playing with a deadly weapon. And actually like it better over here. Like a maniac who shoots flaming arrows in death, so is a person who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. Don't joke like that. Don't tell a joke at somebody else's expense. Don't tear other people down. We're all built in God's image and he doesn't like it. And it hurts that person. If you've ever been on the receiving end of that, you know how much that hurts, okay? You should never have to say, I was just kidding. Don't be kidding. Don't do that. It's always been a big one with me. I was on the receiving end of that as a kid. I was very shy, and the bullies used to like to pick on me. Right? We highlighted 20, 21, and 22. Kind of goes together. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossip, quarreling stops. Now, you've heard me talk enough about gossip. God hates it, so I hate it. Okay? Charcoal keeps the embers glowing, wood keeps the fire burning, and troublemakers, or gossips, keep arguments alive. And gossip is so tasty, how we love to swallow it. People love to hear that, don't they? You know, you have to make a conscious effort to stop that. It might even involve just turning off your TV, because everything on TV today is just gossip, right? Look what so-and-so did, and look what so-and-so did, and look what so-and-so did, and oh my goodness, this person did this. And, you know, None of your business. I mean, you should be involved in politics. You should know what your representatives, because they are your representatives, you should know what they're doing and what they're deciding. You know, where they're getting all their money from that we're not paying them, and how that influences their decisions. Okay? That's not gossip. That's checking up on your representatives. If someone represents you, they should represent you and not their own interests. Okay. Gossip. We highlighted 24, 25, and 26. A hypocrite hides behind flattering words. They may sound fine, but don't believe him, because his heart is filled to the brim with hate. He may disguise his hatred, but everyone will see the evil things he does. Or, though his hatred covers itself with deception, his wickedness will be revealed in the assembly. Okay? And there's lots of hypocrites out there. Oh my goodness. Politicians. First thing that comes to mind when you read this is politicians. Because a lot of them are hypocrites. Okay? They're only out for themselves. I mean, you look at people that were broke when they went into office, and just a few short years later, they're multi-millionaires, you know, on a $170,000 salary. That's not supposed to happen, okay? And not enough people stand up and say, you know, let's give an accounting of where you're getting all this money from, because I think you're breaking some laws and not representing us like you're supposed to. That needs to happen. That's a soapbox you could get on it. Never get off, right? We highlighted 28. You have to hate someone to hurt him with lies. Insincere talk brings nothing but ruin. Right? Insincere talk. Saying something you don't mean. That's deep right there. You could preach a sermon on that, right? So, there you go. That's Proverbs 26 for February 26th. This one. Oh. Stay tuned later today. We're still in Numbers on the Through the Bible in 1 Year series. And we'll probably be in Numbers for a little bit yet. I mean, we'll be in the Old Testament for ever, it seems. But we'll get through it. We want to get through the whole Bible in 1 year. Give this a like if you think about it. Catch up on any you might have missed. This is the 6th time we're going through Proverbs. I'm shooting for 24, but this is time number 6, and I want to use a different version every once in a while, and I will always back it up with a genuine word-for-word translation. So if somebody's, the other one's like, the good news is a thought for thought, which means somebody will take this and this is what it means, and I think, and they'll put it in different words, but it'll say the same thing. But it's always good to back that up. That's why you'll see I have, I have 2 versions right beside each other. One is a thought for thought and word for word, direct word for word translation, so you know exactly what it says. But it's fun to get somebody else's thought on something, What do you think of this? And that's what Bible study is, Going through verses and going around, and what does it say to you? Right? So, and we'll keep doing that. We're just about at the end. We're going to have to double up here in the next couple days, because there's 31 Proverbs and only 29 days in February. So, but we'll get them all out, because we want to start with Proverb 1 on the 1st of the month. So, yeah. So, till next time, remember, be humble. Don't lie. Don't say anything where you'll have to back it up with, I was just kidding. Okay? Just don't. See you next time.